iHeartRadio, an app so powerful it holds 20 million songs from 450,000 artists, thousands.
All right, guys, stand by with the open.
Custom stations, and stations created just for you. It's anywhere and it's everywhere. Millions of songs, thousands of stations, one free app. iHeartRadio is that easy. Download the app today or listen online at iHeartRadio.com.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show, Fifth Street Soccer, here on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Geber with you. It's great to be with you today. I've been traveling, so I'm coming to you from Atlanta, where it is hot and humid, but it is great to be with you. You can find me, by the way, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. And you can find us at Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. And we're also on the web, of course, at fifthstreetsports.com. It is absolutely terrific to be with you. I'm joined by my co-host, Nick Webster. And we have a great show today. Lots to talk about. We're going to talk about the ICC. We're going to talk about friendlies. I just came from Denver, where I brought Boca Juniors out to play the Colorado Rapids. We can talk about ICC and try to ask the question one Arlo White recently asked: why is attendance poor at these ICC games? We're going to talk about transfers. And we have a very special guest coming up later on in the hour. We're going to be speaking with Liverpool, England, and Real Madrid legend Steve McManaman right here on Fifth Street Sports. Nick, are you ready to kick it off today?
Absolutely, Mr. Geber. There's been a plethora of club soccer to enjoy after this World Cup. Join us as well.
I'm going to have to get a better line for him.
The ball never stops rolling, so to speak.
Yep, ball never stops rolling. Well, of course, right here on Fifth Street Sports, we have it all for you. Once again, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk is probably the best place to go to find us. Man, I am really looking forward to kicking this show off today, especially answering Arlo's question about the ICC. And I did post a response and seemed to get a lot of agreement from people as to why attendance is less than stellar at these ICC matches. And I just wonder, the American public finally waking up, or are they developing just a little bit of cynicism? By the way, if you've got something to say, give us a call in the studio, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. We'd love to take your call and get your opinion. And let's talk transfers. Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, even the promoted teams, West Ham United, what are they doing? Good Lord, who ever heard they had money? But they do. And they're all spending it. It's making it a lot of fun. And is it true? Man United beat Barcelona to a big-name signing? We'll fill it all for you. We'll fill you in on it all. I'm having trouble speaking. Right after the break. We'll be right back.
If you're a pro, the PPG paint you count on every day is now at the Home Depot every day, starting at only $15.97 a gallon. Count on PPG Ultra High for quick-turn jobs, PPG Diamond for easy application, and PPG Timeless for guaranteed one-coat hide and coverage. And now, count on the Home Depot to have it all. PPG Pro Grade paint, starting at only $15.97 a gallon, as close as your nearest Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Someone is searching your name or business online. What will they find? Do you have negative search results online? Do you have false accusations, records from a legal situation, or bad press from your past? To reclaim your reputation, call 1-888-WE-DELETE or visit GuaranteedRemovals.com. That's 1-888...
We got a cleaner line for him.
Create or visit GuaranteedRemovals.com. If there is any negative information about you online, GuaranteedRemovals.com will permanently delete it for you. That's right, it is possible to remove negative content from the internet. And GuaranteedRemovals.com is the only company focusing on permanently deleting negative online content. We have successfully removed over 10,000 links, including news articles, arrest records, legal documents, business complaints, blogs, pictures, videos, and more. We offer a no-money upfront guarantee. You don't pay until your online content is removed. Call 1-888-WE-DELETE to talk to our dedicated specialists who are here to assist you. That's 1-888-933-3538 or GuaranteedRemovals.com.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Want to stay in touch with your favorite Sports Byline USA network hosts? Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Sports Byline USA. You can also see the latest news in the world of sports, learn about upcoming contests and giveaways, plus catch up on guest info so you never miss a moment with the biggest names in every sport. Football, basketball, baseball, MMA, and more. No matter where you are in the U.S. or around the world, you can stay connected to the host and fans who love what you love. So check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Sports Byline USA.
All right, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Soccer, here on the Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Geber, along with Nick Webster here. We're with you each and every day at 1 p.m. Pacific. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Sports Byline. And then again at 6 p.m. Pacific, that's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And for a change, I'm actually on the East Coast time zone as I'm coming to you for Atlanta. I'm here for to do some stuff around the Major League Soccer All-Star Game. A game which, I will be completely frank, it's Major League Soccer All-Stars against Juventus. My opinion is that these games are a bit of a waste of time. Another friendly match, which have been poorly attended throughout the year, particularly with the ICC, the big tour that seems to bring the biggest names to America. Very poor attendance this year. Nick Webster, what's your thoughts of that?
This is called, quite simply, World Cup fatigue. You've just seen the best players in the world, the best countries go at it for 30 days, perhaps putting on the best World Cup we've seen in 3-4 decades. I mean, the drama was non-stop, and the one thing the ICC games lack is drama, and they lack a certain amount of intensity. And I think what we found is that the American public is actually paying attention now, and they want to see the stars, and they want to see games that matter. And they're realizing that paying $150, $200 for what is a glorified friendly is not worth the money anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting. Arlo White put this text out there, and he said, can you tell me why? Specifically, he asked why the attendance has been so poor. And I did point out, I said the American soccer public is finally waking up to the fact that they're being fleeced a little bit with these friendlies, and I don't mean in that in a sort of negative way. I think it's great to bring these big teams out to markets where they don't see them all the time. But I think the price point on a lot of these matches has become so outrageous that it doesn't really make sense anymore to spend that sort of money to see a friendly match where you may or may not see the stars, and if you do see them, they're not really playing for anything all that important, or they certainly don't have it on the line. And so, and a lot of that's not the ICC. It's not the organizers of the events. It's these clubs who are looking to make a lot of money over the summer, as much money as they possibly can, and that gets passed along to you and the consumer.
Yeah, I think what people are, especially on the East Coast, are realizing as well is, like, to take a family of four to watch one of these big games and get some decent tickets, it's going to set you back close to $2,000. And you and I spoke about this the other day. For $2,000, you can get yourself a nice return trip to London and watch a real Premier League game and probably have some change to spare. So I really think that what is happening, and it's taken a while, let's be honest, but as we just mentioned, the American public is beginning to figure it out. They have been exposed to top-class football, and they are beginning, I'm not saying it's fully there yet, but they're beginning to notice the difference. And,
Yeah.
you know, what would you rather have? Would you have caviar, or would you want some canned tuna? You know? And it's very simple.
For me personally, Nick, I can't stand caviar. So canned tuna would be preferable. But from a footballing perspective, I'd much rather have the caviar. I recently came from Denver, where Fifth Street Sports, we were pleased to be a part of bringing Boca Juniors, the very famous Argentine team, out for a demonstration and exhibition match against the Colorado Rapids of Major League Soccer. And what was interesting to me, Nick, is the turnout was middling. We didn't expect it to be great. It was a midweek game, and Denver's a good market, but it's not like a Seattle or really a Seattle, really, or maybe in LA or in New York, where you're going to get people coming out just because your team is playing. But we had an enormous amount of Argentines coming out. I didn't know there were that many of them in that market. But it's a good way. I mean, that's a group of people that are hardly ever going to see their team play outside of Argentina.
Well, my other thing would be this, Nick, and I know people who are listening are probably going to call me a heretic and someone who wants to spoil the game. But if we are going to play these friendlies, which they are, can't we have more goals? Can't we have 5-4 thrillers? Can't we have less defending? I mean, you just mentioned the All-Star game between MLS and Juventus. And when Americans think of All-Star games, you can't help but think of the basketball. No one plays any defense today. It's all about attacking. It's all about scoring as many points as possible. I mean, I know coaches want to work on both sides of the ball, but if we are spending $100, I want to see a boatload of goals. I'm not interested in a 0-0 game or that fast that happened to the where it was 21-20 on penalties. But I do want to see high-scoring attacking football. So I think it's on the ICC shoulders to say, listen, we'll pay you $3 million a game to come out here, but we want to see something special. We want to see an attacking feature football. And if you're not, we're not going to have you come out anymore. Because
I was going to say, Nick, I think at that point you start to run into some conflict between the footballing side of these clubs that want to come out for a preseason. They want to really try out different formations, and really for them, these preseason tours are a pain in the ass, to be fair, because the coaches really want to try to get their team ready for the upcoming season, and that is not putting on a high-scoring quote exhibition just for the heck of it. Every time their players take the pitch, they worry about injuries, they worry about fatigue, they worry about problems down the line. So from the footballing perspective, that's sort of the antithesis of what the coaches want. From a business perspective, the front office is desperate to get these teams out, make the money, and give the promoters, which you're quite right, Nick, they want a high-scoring, fun game with all the big stars playing, give them an opportunity to shine. And therein lies the conflict, Nick Webster.
Well, there's always going to be a conflict, but then again, the bottom line is what? You know what the bottom line
money.
Is. It's about making
money.
It's about making money. So let's give, and if it's about making money, okay, who's your customer? The fan. How do you keep the fan coming back? By giving the fan what it wants. What do fans want? They want something different from a Premier League game. But what do they want from a friendly that's played in Pasadena? They want to see a goal-scoring explosion. And the teams are capable, because the players are good enough, they're capable of doing that, but they're under instructions from their coaches to go out and, hey, let's work on our back line. Let's make sure we're pressing. Let's make sure we're doing this and doing that. Go about, just go out there, have some fun, score a boatload of goals.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. That's the difference. What we did for this match with Boca Juniors against the Colorado Rapids is it ended 2-2, but we had penalties at the end to decide a winner. So everyone got to see people kicking the ball in the net. We had 4 goals during regulation. It was a bit of a testy match. We had a bunch of yellow cards. I thought it was a pretty good time all the way around. But on the whole, Nick, and the price point was right for this match. I was surprised that so few Rapids fans came out for the match, because I would think that if you were preseason with Coventry City or Sheffield United, and you were hosting a big team from another country, and it was inexpensive, even if it was a weeknight, your fans would come out to support your team.
Yeah, well, I think, once again, we talk about name recognition, and for you and I, Boca Juniors is a name that makes our mouths water, and, you know, we cast our minds to the Bombonera and the Super Classico. But I think to your regular American soccer fan, who are Boca Juniors? Probably never even heard of them, but he probably would struggle to say the name correctly. I mean, let's be honest, and like you said, there was probably more Argentinian fans out there than there were Rapids fans. So, you know, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. You have to pay the big money to get the United, the Real Madrid, the Barcelonas out. You know, your Boca Juniors probably didn't cost a tenth of what those big teams cost, but then you run the risk of the American public not knowing who they're watching.
All right, this is Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. I'm Nick Geber. He's Nick Webster. We're sort of trying to pull this one apart intellectually. Why are these friendlies not selling out? We think we know, but coming up, we're going to tell you really what you care about. The big money, the big names, who's going where, and what the latest transfer rumors and discussions are. We'll be right back after this.
All right, you're clear. I'm going to try to clean up that phone line.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment.
All right, hopefully we get the line cleaned up a little bit.
I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
All right, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline, USA SB Nation Radio Network. And this is the silly season in Europe where the big transfers move. and happen, and the money changes hands. And quite frankly, so far, there's been a lot of it. And one team that's been a little bit understated up to now, one would think, could be Manchester United, with their big signing so far having been, I guess, Fred, who's come in from Shakhtar Donetsk for £53 million, which is a lot of money. But they are being linked with all sorts of players, most recently bringing in Willian from Chelsea for £75 million. That has not been confirmed, but it's being reported by a number of different outlets. Nick Webster, Man United, about to get very active in the transfer market.
Well, Jose Mourinho has been moaning like a trooper. I mean, it's hard to believe that the season hasn't even started yet, and the excuses from the special one are beginning to build up. He is unhappy about the lack of transfer funds available to him, and I know he was in the market for a couple of fullbacks because he looks at City and thinks to himself, I would like a couple of fullbacks that could bomb on. I'm not sure Willian is the right kind of signing for Manchester United at the moment. But I would say the alarm bells are certainly ringing at Old Trafford, especially as the fact that, Jose Mourinho, usually in his third year, manages to completely combust and bring a club down with him. So I'm sure they're very nervous over at Old Trafford, and it'll be interesting to see how they start the season. Now, a lot of their players have been on World Cup duty, and Mourinho has been quite critical of a certain Paul Pogba, saying that he doesn't produce the same kind of performances for United that he does for France. And I think there's a lot of questions to be answered around Jose Mourinho and Manchester United at the moment, regardless of who they get in the transfer market.
Yeah, well, Nick, the rumors are the following. It's that they've bid $65 million, apparently, $75 million for Willian. If they get both those men, that's quite a pair to add to the roster at a very high price. But then the question is, who goes out? And one has to think that Pogba's probably on his way out if they come in.
Oh, I would be absolutely flabbergasted if Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United after winning the World Cup for France and after United breaking the world record in the transfer fee for him. I certainly don't see Willian being worth £75 million, even in an overinflated market. So, I don't see Pogba going anywhere. I think the players at risk are perhaps Anthony Martial, perhaps Matic, and maybe even young Mr. Rashford, because he can't get a game at the moment. And you'd have to say that in the inflated market, if Willian is worth $75 million, what's Rashford worth?
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. The market is all over the place, Nick. It really doesn't make any sense. What's fascinating to me is that Barcelona have been very busy trying to bring in Willian, and they made 3 or 4 bids for him. I mean, what surprises me is that Chelsea would sell him to a Premier League team as opposed to selling him out of the league.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's one of the things that some of these clubs have to be very wary of, is selling to your opponents and them coming back to haunt you. I mean, obviously, Lukaku comes to mind. He's really, put the kibosh to Everton. Chelsea sold Matic to United, to a rival, and you just don't see teams really selling their big stars to rivals. I mean, the biggest one was perhaps Fernando Torres, who went from Liverpool to Chelsea and was a complete bust, and Liverpool made out like bandits from that one. But it is very rare, I think, for contenders to sell players to one another, and that's why I'd be very surprised to see Willian go to United.
Yeah, I read these reports today. Quite frankly, I was absolutely shocked. I mean, that would be the last place you would want to sell him if you are Chelsea. The rumors of Eden Hazard going to Real Madrid, I think, even though that percentage of likelihood, I think, is dropping with each passing day, that seems to be a much more likely move of Hazard to Madrid than Willian to Man United.
Yeah, I mean, Eden Hazard has been making noises for about 2 years now, and the fact that it's gone very quiet leads me to believe either one, he's had a talk with his new manager Sarri and said, you know what, I'm happy here, I'm going to play for you for a year, or number two, Chelsea are just waiting until the last moment to say, okay, Madrid, he's available, spend the money. And I think what we also have to be aware of, this is the first time that the transfer window is closing on the opening day of the season in England, but that isn't the case for Spain, Italy, and Germany. And I think that's going to throw a little spanner in the works here, Nick. It's going to be really interesting the last couple of days before the season begins on August 11th. I think there's going to be some wild movement, and I would not be surprised to see Hazard actually go to Madrid, but that would definitely mean that Willian will stay at Chelsea.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose both of those players. That would be a death blow thing. Even though there is talk of Abramovich selling the team, I'm sure he wants to sell the team at the top and not have to take a haircut because the team's performing so badly, or the value of his squad has plummeted. They have brought in Jorginho. The defensive midfielder came in at 51 million, and a surprise transfer apparently at Chelsea. Sarri was apparently completely surprised that they brought in Robert Green. He didn't ask for him; he was just presented.
Yeah, the way football clubs are setting themselves up now as head coach, and then there's a CEO and there's a director of transfers, and obviously with a club as dysfunctional as Chelsea, though, Nick, I mean, we can hardly be surprised. I mean, I'm actually quite surprised that they haven't even brought in Webster and Geber for a combined fee of 10 million from LA, and not let the new manager know.
Well, quite frankly, I think that would be a bargain if they could do that.
So the way that it works now, I think it's going to be very interesting to figure out, who's actually picking these teams and who's deciding the players that are coming in. Because if it's not the manager, when things go boss-eyed and they finish bottom of the league, the manager's going to be turning around saying, well, these are not my players.
Yeah, well, one manager that has been busy and is staying busy is Unai Emery at Arsenal, who's brought in some pretty good signings. Interestingly, he's really been shoring up the spine of the club so far. He's added a couple of a defensive midfielder, another goalkeeper, a central midfielder. They brought in Lucas Torreira from Sampdoria for 27 million, Bernd Leno from Leverkusen. They brought Socrates, the centre-back from Borussia Dortmund. That's a great signing, by the way. And Matteo Guendouzi from Lorient for a small signing at 7.2. I have to think Arsenal got more up their sleeves, ready to come up here shortly too, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd have to say that Wenger has left a legacy of sorts, and that would be Aubameyang and Lacazette. Two outstanding players. Özil no longer with the German national team, so he'll be completely focused on Arsenal. And what Arsenal have been missing for the last 10, 15 years is that spine. Perhaps Emery knows something that Wenger doesn't, and that is the most important part of the team. You shore up the spine, and then you let the magical players who can score goals, create goals, do the work. He may be onto something. I was talking with Andrew at the last show on Wednesday. Arsenal 25-1 to win the Premiership title. I would say that is outstanding value.
Yeah, it really is.
Just because they finished sixth and they were very poor last year. This is still Arsenal Football Club we're talking about. One of the premier teams in the world. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. Yes, they may not have challenged for the Premiership title for the last 3 or 4 years, but they are still a top club. 25-1 for a top club to win the Premiership with the kind of money they have and the players they have on the books. I think that's great value.
Yeah, they do have some. If you look at them, the ingredients are all there for a really good run from Arsenal. So I think the pressure's on Unai Emery now to perform. What's interesting to me, Nick, if we just want to go to Liverpool for a minute, and let's go across to the other team there, Everton, bringing in 40 million for Richarlison from Watford. Everyone's smiling all the way around. They get a great winger that they really need, and Watford get more money to put to buy more players.
I mean, that to me is another one of the transfer market going completely bananas. I mean, Richarlison started off the season in sparkling form for Watford, scoring goals, creating goals, but the weather changed. I'm not saying Brazilians are soft by any means, but as soon as it dipped below 65, he didn't look that interested anymore. And the fact that Watford have managed to squeeze 50 million out of Everton with the manager that Everton have stolen from them and caused them all kinds of all kinds of bother. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Football's gone completely mad, Nick.
Isn't it fun, though, Nick? Isn't it fun?
Well, I mean, thank goodness it has gone completely mad, because it gives us something to talk about every day. I mean, if you think politics in the US is interesting, try following the Premiership.
Well, Nick, I'm going to tell you something that is absolute madness, and I think we just have a few minutes left in this segment. But you want to talk about football going mad, Nick? What about if I told you that West Ham United spent £85 million net so far on players? You wouldn't have believed me.
The expenditure by the Hammers so far this summer has been absolutely mind-boggling. And to think that this was a team that flirted 40 seconds relegation last season, I guess they've got to keep the natives happy somehow, and spending £85 million is one way to do it. Will they bet in? Will the new manager see the trick? I really couldn't tell you. I thought David Moyes did very well with what he had. Pellegrini, I think he could be in for a rude awakening.
All right, Nick Webster, always a pleasure. We'll speak again. We got to go to break. When we come back, I'll be talking to Liverpool, England, and Real Madrid legend Steve McManaman right here on Fifth Street Soccer on the Sports Byline USA SB Nation Radio Network. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. I'll be right back after this.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a bottle of Seafoam Motor Treatment on sale for $7.99. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Help your engine run smoother and last longer with Seafoam Motor Treatment on sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supplies. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm Ryan Burke. I'm the head cider maker at Angry Orchard, and we're in Brittany, France. I wanted to make Angry Orchard rosé cider out of my love for rosé wine. We came here and found these red-fleshed apples. These are really rare fruit. The apple brings a right, refreshing, natural taste to the cider and a deep, nice pink rosé hue. Our rosé is a little bit less sweet. It's got a really nice balance. For any occasion, it's a really refreshing drink.
Angry Orchard Cider Company, Walden, New York. Drink responsibly.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't.
All right, Steve is ready. And they're both Steve and Nick are up on the line at the same time.
Or 4531 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com, that's MYEVOZ.com, to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend.
All right, stand by. Nick and Steve are ready.
Unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind. Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
All right, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Soccer, here on the Sports Byline and SB Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Geber, along with Nick Webster. And it's with great pleasure that we introduce our special guest for this segment. a man who's made 401 career appearances during his career as one of England's greatest players, playing for Liverpool, the team I've followed for decades, and of course England international, played for Real Madrid. Steve McManaman. Steve, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure, guys. Nice to speak to you.
Well, it's great to have you on, of course, as we get ready. It seems like it's just been an absolute smorgasbord of football this summer with the World Cup. And before you know it, you hardly have a time to breathe and follow the silly season. Then all the European teams and leagues start up. Steve, I know you're an ambassador for La Liga, and I think they're kicking off August the 19th. Tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to in Spain this year.
Well, I think the big stories are, at this moment in time, I know they're going to be very busy until the transfer deadline window finishes, but, there's a huge story regarding Real Madrid. Of course, since we last saw them win the Champions League, Zinedine Zidane has left the club, and of course, Cristiano Ronaldo's left the club, so that's a huge void that Real Madrid have to fill. Barcelona have gone and strengthened their squad, so they're significantly better than they were last year. They've just brought Malcolm in from Bordeaux, they brought Arthur in, they brought Longley in from Sevilla, so lots of activity going on at Barcelona. Of course, Atletico Madrid have been busy as well. They're in Singapore in the ICC Cup on the other side of the world, when a lot of the Spanish teams are in the USA with myself, and they brought in Thomas Lemar, a very exciting signing from Monaco, who I know was coveted by a lot of European teams, including Liverpool. So it should be really exciting. Are the Spanish teams going to be stronger than they were last year? Certainly Barcelona will be. But I think the ongoing story will be how Real Madrid react to losing Ronaldo. They brought Vinicius in from Brazil, but he's going to be a superstar of the future, but he's still only young. They brought the right back in, Odriozola. But who's going to step up and take the mantle that Cristiano Ronaldo has vacated?
Yeah, Steve, one of the things that we've looked at, particularly with the World Cup and on the international side, is sort of the shifting in football tactics. And we see this on a cyclical basis, where very much the possession game seems to be possibly on the way out, a more direct style coming back in. How do you see the particularly the Spanish teams adjusting their tactics?
Well, I think I think Barcelona and Real Madrid always, because of their huge history they've got, they always have to play an entertaining style of football, and I think that will not change. I think the likes of Liverpool have to play that entertaining football as well. As I said, their history tells them, with the fans they've had and the success they've had in the past, that they have to play a style of football that the fans will know and love and will be entertained. So I don't think it'll necessarily change with those particular sides. I think likewise, Pep Guardiola always wants to play attractive, positive football. He always wants the ball more than other teams. I know that you can get results now playing counter-attacking football. I know that you can get results by sitting back and absorbing pressure and trying to nick a goal and then defend your way out of it. I think the big teams still are reluctant to play that way. I still think they have an ethos that they have to score more goals than the opposition. If they get one, they need the second, they need the third. Because that's what we're in at the moment. As much as we'll always laud teams who do very well, the underdogs who get results against the odds. I think we all love football, but we also appreciate that it is the entertainment business. We want to be entertained when we go and watch a football match. It's very expensive now. The clubs we know earn a lot of money, particularly in the Premier League, but we want to go and be entertained as a fan. And I think the big teams, have a duty to keep on playing like that. I really do.
Yeah, you mentioned Liverpool, and let's turn our attentions to Anfield for a minute. Jurgen Klopp obviously has made a massive impact there, but have you been surprised at the level of the signings this off-season? I mean, it's been fast and furious.
Yes, I have been, actually. The fact that they did, of course, Naby Keita was done last year, but the fact that they went and bought, Fabinho, arguably a couple of days after the Champions League final, when all the Liverpool fans, were in quite a depressed state, and then they had the deal done and dusted, and there wasn't a whisper of a new signing coming from Liverpool, and then suddenly you see Fabinho signed. He's had his picture taken in a red Liverpool shirt, and he's been at Melwood. That was great to see. Of course, they then brought a little bit of experience in Shaqiri, who's played all around Europe for really strong teams, and had a decent enough World Cup to add to that depth. Because I think if you saw the quality of the bench of Liverpool in the Champions League final, and you looked across and you saw the quality of the bench of Real Madrid, there was a significant gulf, and Liverpool had to address that. And I think they did. They brought in a few midfielders, we know that, and then, to cap it all off, they, after the quiet, and Jurgen Klopp hasn't spoken about a goalkeeper much, he'd necessarily stonewall the question of goalkeepers, saying he's happy, to then go out and smash the transfer record and bring in, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I think that put a lot of smiles on a lot of Liverpool supporters' faces. They feel as if they brought Van Dijk when the central defence area needed strengthening, and when the goalkeeping area needed strengthening, which invariably it did. Jurgen went out and asked for the money, and it speaks volumes to the owners of Liverpool Football Club, the fact that they've gone, you know what, yes, we're willing to break the transfer deadline, we're willing to break the transfer record and bring a goalkeeper of this calibre in.
Yes, it does certainly speak to the quality of ownership at Anfield, and it's at Liverpool as well. It's just been a while that, of course, they had the horrible run under, was it John Henry, where it was just a nightmare, and seems that, pardon me, not John Henry, the previous owners was an absolute nightmare, the Americans.
Hicks,
thank you, Gillette and Hicks. It's the name I'm trying to expunge from my memory. But now ownership's absolutely solid, and it's fantastic to be able to bring it in. I know my co-host Nick Webster is on the line and has a question, so I'll throw it over to Nick. Do I have Nick? Oh, apparently I don't have Nick. Steve, you'll excuse us. We're all over the world today doing the show. So I know when you talk about exciting football and all the clubs trying to play exciting football, I noticed that you didn't mention Chelsea in that statement. What do you see going on at Stamford Bridge? Is this Mourinho's third-year blues?
Well, I think Chelsea at this moment in time. Well, I don't think anybody knows what's happening at Chelsea, to be very honest. There was talk about Antonio Conte leaving at the end of the season. There was talk about Antonio Conte leaving in January. That was the rumour. That was always what's going to happen. But the fact that they have let Antonio Conte go in July and he already started pre-season training with the players, that was surreal. We knew that Maurizio Sarri was going to come in and take his job. But the fact that they let it prolong through June and July before they finally did the deal, 2 days into pre-season when they let Antonio Conte start pre-season, and then not seem to have any plan about who they're going to sign. The talk in England is that who's going to leave Chelsea rather than who's going to come into Chelsea. So there's a bit of a cloud going over Chelsea at this moment until people realise what the plan is, who they're going to sign, who they're going to sell. And probably August the 9th, the deadline day, won't come soon enough for them, because they'll then know, right, we've got this team and we have to do our best with it. But there's talk about Courtois leaving, there's talk about Eden Hazard leaving.
Willian.
I know they brought Jorginho in, who's a good player, but if they lose Hazard and Courtois the other way, there's going to be more questions than answers. That's why, with Chelsea, with Tottenham haven't done any business, with Arsenal and Unai Emery and the players they've brought in, you wonder whether they've significantly improved the Arsenal team stroke squad.
Yeah.
That there's still question marks over them. So, these 9 days before the deadline window finishes in England, it's going to be strange, firstly, because it's finishing, 3 weeks before the rest of Europe. But also, this next 10 days, there's going to be huge amounts of activity in the Premier League, and no doubt the prices are going to be pushed through the roof, because everybody knows that the Premier League is playing to a different deadline day than the rest of Europe.
Yes, Steve, they were also talking about £75 million for Willian to go to Manchester United. We were talking about that actually in the last segment. I mean, I'd be shocked if that move happened, because if Chelsea lose both Willian and Hazard, I mean, they're basically being gutted, and if you throw in Courtois as well. So it has to be one or the other. But why on earth would they sell Willian to Man United? Why would they sell them to another Premier League club unless there's something else going on there?
I know, well, exactly, and I think that's one of the many aspects of Chelsea. Nobody knows actually, because they seem to be leaderless. We don't see Roman, the owner, anymore because of various issues with the British government. We don't know who the chairman is. Is it the Russian lady who's running the club? There's not many statements come out of the club, telling the fans what aspect, what way the club is driving forward. As you rightly said, they sold Nemanja Matic last year to Manchester United. Most people thought that was a big mistake. So to sell Willian, who had a really good World Cup, it doesn't make any sense. I get if the fact Chelsea selling to Barcelona. I understand that. He's going to a different league. He's not necessarily a direct replacement because they're not in the Champions League. I find that. But to sell them to Manchester United, as you rightly said, and not have replacements ready, or not, have other people unsettled like Hazard or Courtois doesn't make any sense. So, no doubt these rumours will persist, as I said, until the deadline day comes and goes, and then we'll all settle down and we'll all think about getting on with the league.
Yeah, well, the other thing, and you did mention it, Steve, was how strange it is to have the transfer window closing almost 3 weeks before the rest of Europe. We could get into an interesting situation where a European club could sign a Premier League player outside of the window to replace him, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yes, we could do. Yes, of course. I mean, Chelsea could finish their business and conceivably could sell Eden Hazard the week after. I think the Premier League teams will have to be stronger, won't they? They'll have to play hardball with the European teams. Once the 9th comes along, they cannot risk losing a player they want to keep, and they have to just say no, and no matter how much money is offered, the fact that they can't replace that particular player, they have to just say no. Eden Hazard has got 2 years left on his contract. He's not going anywhere from Chelsea at this moment in time. I think if Real Madrid pay £200 million for him, Chelsea will let him go because they've got 10 days to try and find a replacement, and they've got a huge amount of money. But once that deadline day comes, it will be. I think it's better for the Premier League because there's no uncertainty once the league starts. But as you said, you risk getting raided on by the cream of European football, and that is a problem.
Well, and I also think the accelerated window, the good thing about it is I think it protects the smaller teams in the Premier League at the expense of the bigger money teams. Steve, we just had a couple of minutes left, so I'd just like to get your opinion. Let's go back to La Liga. Who's your favourites this year? Who do you think is going to win La Liga?
Well, I think Barcelona are big favourites, aren't they? I think they won the league by, they won the league by a canter last year. I think they were 19 points ahead of Real Madrid. They've strengthened accordingly. I think Philip Coutinho having his first real season with them, starting a pre-season, starting in August with the team. I think he had a good World Cup, so he will step into the breach of Andres Iniesta. They bought another couple of players in and around them. As I said before, Malcolm's come in, Arthur from Brazil's come in, Longley's come in at centre defence. To bolster that area. I think they're big favourites to win La Liga until, as I said before, until we see what kind of business Real Madrid are going to do. Real Madrid are under huge pressure this year because of the way they brought in the new manager, and because of the way they almost brought Spain to a halt by taking the manager 2 days before the World Cup. There's a lot of bad anger towards Real Madrid about how they did that and why they did it at such a time, and why they announced the signing of Lopetegui. Throw in the likes of Ronaldo not playing, as I said before, who averages you a goal a game, that when you stand next to him in the tunnel, you're leading 1-0 because of his incredible record. Lose him as well, lose Zidane, bring in a new manager, bring in this bad blood off other fans. And they've got huge problems to sort out, and no doubt they will have to be busy in the transfer market, because if they lose a couple of games in August or September, the crowds will turn, and someone will get the blame for letting Cristiano go. And you know what the president's like; he'll blame everybody else but himself. So they're going to have to do business until before the transfer deadline window closes.
Well, Steve McManaman, an absolute pleasure. We thank you for coming on. La Liga season kicks off August 19th. Premier League season kicking off about 10 days before then. Thanks so much. An absolute pleasure. Best to you.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you very much for everything. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back after this. Fifth Street Soccer.
You're clear.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare,
2-minute close. 2 minutes.
CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Well, my friends, thank you for staying with us this hour here on Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Network. By the way, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. I'd like to thank my co-host, Nick Webster, and of course, the Spice Boy himself, Steve McManaman. Of course, I'm not man enough to call him that to his face, but as a Liverpool supporter, that was an absolute honor and privilege to have him on the show. So many questions I didn't get to ask him because we had a rather shortened period for the interview. But really, I had to ask him if he thought Liverpool were going to win the Premier League this year, but just didn't get to it. But clearly, Barcelona, the team to beat this year in La Liga. Now, stay tuned here, folks. We're with you every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radios at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and then again at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 Eastern. Again, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, we bring you Fifth Street Sports, where we cover all sports, not just soccer. And we will be expanding our coverage here on this network in the days to come. So you want to stay tuned. If you have thoughts or questions or want to find out where to find us, go to our website at fifthstreetsports.com. The transfer market, well, it will stay open till just about the end of the, probably just about the beginning of the season. I think the day after it closes. So we'll be monitoring that as we go. I think there's still some big money moves left to be had. And as we talked about, be fascinating to watch and see what happens at Stamford Bridge. And quite frankly, I personally am questioning whether ownership is going to be the same at Chelsea by the time the season starts or in the first weeks of the season. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'd like to thank my co-host, Nick Webster, and our special guest, Steve McManaman, the Liverpool, England, Real Madrid great. He also played for City, but we won't talk about that. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful night, great evening, drive safe, have fun. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Cheers.
Good job, Nick. All right, we'll talk to you later, buddy.